Welcome back to The Watch. Can you hear me? We are live and, well, we should be live. We'll see how we go. Looks like the chat is already alive. How are you guys? So, you might have noticed, I'm not sure, but if you've seen the thumbnail and also the title, we've picked a name, okay? It might not be the best name, but I think it's right. We're calling it The Weekly Watch. The Weekly Watch live stream. Voice is echoing, they're saying. No! No! We'll see if we can fix that. Nathan's on top of it. So how's that now? Let us know in the chat. I'm gonna pop the chat out, so I got it all dedicated here, ready to go. And so people saying a medieval trailer breakdown. Oh, I've seen that, but that's medieval themed, and I'll be looking at the accuracy of that one. So that's for Shadiversity. So don't miss the Sunday Night Swords live stream on Shadiversity, where I'll be looking at the medieval trailer. This one we like to look at pop culture and what's happening and all that stuff. And there is a trailer that there's actually a lot of just like mainstream trailers that we haven't gotten to. We like to do the significant ones for us, which is of course Rings of Power. And there was even a sneak peek. So how's the audio still? Sounds perfect to me. Sorry. What's up? What's up, Nathan? Is it?
This sounds very. You don't sound as
crisp.
Studio.
Let me get the mic closer. How is this? Can you hear me? Oh, that would be a bit. That's a bit too ASMR stuff. Not great, but only slight echo. Audio is off. Someone says audio's okay, but kind of canned. It's a bit odd. Usually audio's okay. Audio's okay, but I think you're using the wrong mic. That's weird. It might be. Do you reckon it's picking it up through the... Not this mic?
That's what it sounded like.
Oh.
If you tap that though, give it a bit.
Yeah, this is not picking up this at all. Bear with us. Bear with us. We might need to turn the camera off and on. So if you plug it in, will that mess everything up? Okay. Alright, so let me... It's not picking up this mic.
Weird.
What is that? Is weird. So hang on, let me... Wait. Okay, now this... How is that? Is this audio...
Did we fix it, everyone?
Did we fix it? Let us know.
It's Mike's watch.
Mike's watch. There we go, fixed. That's it. Yeah, people are saying perfect. Yeah, I guess this is a much nicer shotgun mic, but for some reason the camera is using its native mic and messing up. Hey, it's live. That's what you get with live TV. So raw, in your face. And I repeat that a lot, but that's the excuse. Like, when you're live, issues happen, and you just got to roll with it. So, Gary is rubbing off on Shad. Maybe. We do it live. So, the name. We have a name for this live stream, this weekly live stream, and it's the Weekly Watch. The Night's Watch Weekly Watch. Because we all the other videos is Welcome Back to the Watch, but this is specifically a dedicated weekly watch. And so this, we're gonna try and do this live stream this time every week. And I'll be joined by my knights, of course, when they're available. I'm joined by Nathan.
I can show them my face now.
Nathan, look at you! You got a face! It's so exciting!
Wow. It's so red and... Oh.
it's quickly...
It's a work in progress screen, everyone, okay? In future, I was working on it today, because we talked about it before, but with Super Chats, we know we don't get to everyone. And so my screen, my face, we're hoping to have on the side here, everyone's Super Chats pop up, so that even if it's a big one and we can't read it, you can at least see your name on the screen. That's just an exciting thing coming in the future. Awesome. So yes, we have plans to make sure we'll get to everyone. But the thing is, Night's Watch, the live stream audience doesn't generally reach the same quantity as Shadiversity, and we almost are able to get to all the super chats on Night's Watch. But if we miss one, we apologise. We do our best.
So yeah, we do want to look at the new She-Hulk trailer, and depending on time, we might be able to get to a couple of other ones. I was actually thinking of trying to do a big trailer catch-up. There's like 6 other trailers that we haven't done, and we want to focus on what we feel are, like, the most, I guess, significant or important, or that is getting the most attention at the moment. And so, of course, that was like, Rings of Power, House of Dragons. Then there are the ones that are important to us, which is there was a behind-the-scenes look at Wheel of Time, and Oz and I have reacted to that, and we have a video coming out. For me, it's tonight. For you, it'll be tomorrow morning if you're in the US. Andrew Biko says, thank you for the super chat. Have you considered using shorts to promote the past week's content and upcoming live shows? I've considered that for Shadiversity. I'm not sure about Night's Watch. Night's Watch is doing pretty good without needing to resort to those dreaded shorts, because we're basically almost doing daily content on Night's Watch, except for the weekend, but we're kind of pumping it out. And so Night's Watch, it isn't as necessary, but we are doing the stream. We're doing streams on Night's Watch and Shadiversity. No, save your eyes, Shad. I think you're referring to the She-Hulk trailer. Don't do it! I'm doing it for you guys! So, thing about the She-Hulk trailer, I started watching it, and I was getting so many instant, live responses to what I was watching. It's like, all right, I need to do it live, and I stopped watching the rest of it because it was cringe, man. We got some stuff to mention about this new She-Hulk trailer. Isaac Odo for $19. Thank you. Keep fighting the good fight, guys. We will. Absolutely. With your support, you enable us to push forward and keep on fighting. It means a lot. And so I was saying that this is going to be weekly live stream, and it's called The Weekly Watch. Oz, unfortunately, is sick again. He's been battling, some stuff. So he's not in today. He would usually, so on Night's Watch it would be a more ensemble thing. But we have Nathan with us, so Nathan's,
I'm here.
He's here. And Claudia will also be joining us when she can. But there's too much work to do, so we need people editing on while we're going. Ender Raids for $1.99. Thank you, sir. He says, what do you think about Disney making Obi-Wan buy? I need that confirmed. Where's the release? Okay, I've seen a lot of people mentioning it. Was there an official statement by Disney about this, Nathan?
I haven't seen anything.
This is news to Nathan.
Yeah. If anything, I've only seen him like women, but even then he hasn't had much luck because he's a Jedi.
Is it
and
more
of all the things to be like, nah, he's gay, he's bi, he's a Jedi, doesn't matter.
Jedi, for the most part, are usually asexual. They put aside desire, but that was one of the flaws in the Jedi philosophy. And in the proper expanded universe, the actual, the book series and stuff, before Disney said it's non-canon.
Stuff,
No, this is the real canon. Reject Disney crap, embrace tradition. And in that, Luke Skywalker, when he was reforming the Jedi Order, allowed Jedi to have familial attachment, basically, because he felt one of the reasons that led to the fall of the Jedi Order was Darth Vader, also Anakin, feeling like he had to let go of Padme and he couldn't let go and all that stuff. And if it was allowed for him to embrace that relationship properly, maybe it wouldn't have led to the downfall. And so Luke actually saw that as a flaw in the Jedi and allowed for a relationship, and he ends up having a wife as well.
People are saying that it's in a book that's coming out.
Oh, really? So Ender Raids, another super chat. His buy in a new book and talks about kissing a guy. Friggin' Disney, man. And it's pandering. They don't care about, representation or anything like that. They just, my goodness, if Disney was only located in countries where they had different standards, I'm just imagining what Disney would have put in their media if they, were in Germany during World War II. They don't have a, moral compass. What are you...
It's not a guy, it's a teenager.
Oh, what, really?
Yeah.
How old? Oh, no, I don't want to know.
Oh, Disney, what are you doing?
And it's because it goes into a whole range of, things. Because, of course, the more conservative types of people, not just Christians, but I'm Christian, so even more so, the issue we have is putting it into children's media. And yeah, so that's a whole nother topic that maybe we'll do a follow-up video on, because there's actually a bit more of a discussion to be had about... Well, we've already kind of touched on the video about Disney wants to raise your kids. That had an interesting... Well, actually, a really positive response from most of our fan base, but then there are other people who, of course, got upset and they tried to straw man our position, trying to say that we don't want homosexual people to exist. And I'm like, what the heck? What? When did we even say anything close to that? No, we were talking about sexualization in children's media, and that's sexualization on both sides of the spectrum, although we do feel there is a difference between traditional relationships and the LGBT relationships that I like to promote. So maybe I'll do a follow-up video adding, not even more nuance, but debunking some of the bullcrap people were saying. But look, this is the same agenda that Disney has been promoting all along, and... What's also a bit pandering about that one, right, is Obi-Wan. He was never traditionally that the character. They're just trying to do it for diversity points. So yeah, Disney making weird fan fiction canon. All right, so more to be said, but it sounds like that's official now. It sounds like that's official. If it's just the same. All right, so someone says something about Gollum eats babies, for crying out loud. It's like, well, I don't know a reference there.
I think that was a different discussion we missed there in chat.
Yeah, I think I missed that one. Okay, so let's dive right into the trailer for She-Hulk, and I'll give you some of my thoughts and responses to this as we go. So. We'll come back to the chat. We'll keep track of that. So, ready to go?
Give me 1 second to have the... Okay.
All right, it's there. So this is the beginning, right? So funny.
Wow! Jeez, what the hell, man?
I don't know. Like, for me, my instant reaction was... especially, Disney is supposed to be family friendly and supposed to be more accessible, okay? And so I'm just wondering, did they need to throw the profanity of the Savior's name in there? Like, it was a bit muffled, but when you hear it, it's like, to me, of course, that rubs me the wrong way. I know I would never really comment on it if it was not meant to be family friendly or supposed to be more accessible. This is Disney Marvel stuff. But it's like, is that needed? Most people think it would be irrelevant and everything like that, but stands out to me, of course.
Still in control, no overwhelming feeling.
So his arm is fixed. I thought it was like pretty crippled, but I guess you would assume that maybe it would heal eventually from Hulk doing the snap with the Infinity Stones, but it was always... And then this is kind of confusing. Is he able to revert to his normal form in another form? Because in the after-credit scene for Shang-Chi, his normal Bruce Banner. Is this different chronology? Is this based after that? Or can he just go into Hulk mode and regular mode, which seems to be the same as what they're showing She-Hulk here, that she doesn't lose her brain, she doesn't become a different persona when she becomes the Hulk person. And is that what regular Hulk is like? He can go normal mode, and when he goes into Hulk, it's thing. I almost want my phone here because I'd like to see what the chat is saying. You have to keep me updated. What's some of the chats today? Have any comments or thoughts already?
Some are laughing at you saying that Disney is family friendly.
I know, right? It's not the case anymore. They want it to be accessible to a certain group and less accessible to showing a bias, right? If they wanted it accessible to everyone, wouldn't they be trying to be mindful of everyone's sensibilities and what they find offensive? But they're happy to offend Christians, but they will bend over backwards to not offend the group, the message people, right?
Some are also saying that Hulk looks smaller, like in that framing. He doesn't look like big, bulky Hulk.
You know,
like
a bit, yeah.
shrunken.
I agree.
No, a normal amount of rage.
Is that a normal amount of rage? She's yelling, the first yelling, but I don't know. Yeah.
You do revert back to Gen 4 when you sleep.
Was the air horn really necessary?
For comedy, absolutely. Gen 4
Back.
when you sleep.
Was the air horn really...
Okay, that doesn't look as terrible as the first trailer. What do you think, Nathan? You've got a better eye for this. The hair is a bit... What do you think?
I just think any green person doesn't look at all natural.
What? So bigoted!
Yeah.
That's green person phobic,
Green people
Nathan.
don't look real. Like in Star Trek when they had green and blue people, even in Guardians of the Galaxy, I just felt like it didn't... It's very hard to do. And I don't know, I just think she does not look real. Regardless of how yeah.
Nathan does not approve.
Really necessary.
For comedy, absolutely. This is a multi-year journey you're about to embark on.
Okay. So when I was starting to watch the trailer, I got a little bit further than this, but I was thinking, all right, he throws a rock, she throws a rock, instantly further than him. I'm thinking, all right, if I was a cynical man, which I am, I would think, going out of their way to make her look just better than the Hulk. But all right, maybe it was a one-off. Maybe it's just, okay, because he wasn't really trying and she put more weight into it, so she's just taking it more seriously. Is that the charitable interpretation? Because if it continues, then maybe not. But maybe one-off, yeah, okay.
Who's your best friend?
Mickey.
Spandex. Spandex is your best friend.
I don't know. I didn't find that funny.
Being a Hulk asks for balance.
And so he's doing this little balance. She does this whole flippy, acrobatic kind of thing. Like, look at this. And so when I got to this, like, so she's just better than the Hulk in every way. She's stronger. She's more agile. They're Mary suing this already. And I mean, come on, have they not learned? Are they so blinded that if you want an interesting character, give them like, this would be really interesting if you had an arc where it's really hard for her to get used to her strength and she doesn't know how to control it, and it'll just be bloody obvious that Hulk has been doing this for ages, and so he's far more controlled and trained, and she doesn't even know how to pick up a glass without shattering it because too much strength, and it's difficult. And it'll be an interesting arc to see her learn how to control her strength. Instead, not only can she control it really well, she's instantly better than the Hulk, just because. I mean, come friggin' off it. Oh, that's already massive warning signs for Mary Sue. What's the chat saying?
They all agree.
All agree.
They all thought the same thing.
I mean, it's just like... And it's not even like she's balancing longer than him. She is flipping out, full on doing really difficult gymnastics kind of balancing here. And her strength is just supposed to be increased, right? She's not supposed to suddenly be a master gymnast. I don't think she was able to do anything close to that before she got her powers, but now she can, because Mary Sue, because girl power. I mean, this is insulting to women. I hope people realise this, that they are so afraid to give any female characters flaws that they're now pandering to them. And it just makes them unrealistic to the point where women aren't getting good female characters. And this is just another sign amongst the constant thing. They're so afraid of daring to show women in media to have flaws because they think they might be interpreted as saying women are weak and inferior. Come off it. It's cowardly. Any other interesting chats there, Nathan?
Some are saying that this is Mark Ruffalo's punishment for spoiling all the Avenger movies. They're like, we're going to put you in a really bad Disney Plus TV show and just...
Okay, this is... I actually really enjoyed Mark Ruffalo's first appearance as the Hulk in Avengers. I'm just saying, I thought he'd owned the role. He did really well in showing this timid kind of cautious side. I remember when he's on the carrier and is inside and is walking around and he sees like a guard or anything, instantly turns his back, showing that he's being wary of authority and trying to hide himself and everything. I don't see that complexity in his character now. It's just kind of goofy spandex.
Ever since he became Smart Hulk, he's just been comedic relief.
Yeah, Hulk is far less interesting now, where he had complexity and conflict in trying to master the Hulk thing, and now it's just time travel. And he's supposed to be smart, and he acts like an idiot, and now it's just cringe comic relief and butt end of jokes, and it's not funny at all. And so he's just going to be there basically as, I don't know, to be crapped on to show how great this new character is my impression so far. It's like, yeah, he's pissed. It's just like, it's just so much better than you. Look, you're inferior.
You have so much more to learn. Yes!
So I'm clearly nailing it at all these things.
Oh my goodness! They're not even trying to hide it. I'm so great. Look at me. Gosh. Already she is obnoxious and unlikable. Arrogant. It's like they don't know how to write characters.
Chat was saying it's like they just cannot make an arc for a character anymore. There's no progression.
And there's a pre-built arc in there. If they would just open their eyes, she needs to learn how to control her powers. That could be really interesting. What about going even further, that she ends up becoming a danger to her friends and family because she can't control her powers at times, and that starts to create some really serious conflict for her. But they're not going to do any of that. This is all just going to be I'm so great, the show. Now she just slaps down the Hulk and knocks him over. Like, this whole trailer so far is crapping on the Hulk. I'm so great. But oh my goodness. Oh, Hulk, you had testicles here. I'm taking those off of you now. They're mine.
She beat Hulk with a slap.
They make it so unlikable. Like, she's like, I just kicked the crap out of you. I'm so great. Oh, man. And this is annoying. She-Hulk, she's actually a bit of an interesting, enjoyable character in the comics at times, right? They're ruining these characters. I'm not coming in this saying, I just hate She-Hulk. No, I hate this interpretation of She-Hulk because it's going from the trailer, it is top-level cringe and just awful characterization. Mary Sue oozing out of everything. Gosh. Disney is so crap nowadays. They have just... What have they put out that's been decent recently? Everything's been so bad. My God.
If you want to go back to your life as a lawyer, I respect that.
He doesn't mean that.
They're breaking the fourth wall? It's like... That's... It's been done before, but only with characters that were knowingly comical, like Deadpool would do this, right? This is so out of place for what should have been a more mainstream or even serious comic book, TV show. And then they look back at the camera like, well, what am I talking to? It's just, it's basically saying, yeah, don't take this seriously. This is going to be you're not going to be invested or engaged in anything. It's a joke. This show is a joke.
More and more eccentric superhumans are coming out of the woodwork.
Already, I'm more interested in these other superheroes. I've got.
More and more eccentric superhumans are.
Does chat know who this guy is? Is he one of? Are they going to be going into Marvel's back catalogue of all the obscure kind of weird superheroes? DC has a much wider range of obscure weird superheroes and stuff, like Kite Man and Polka Dot Man. All those really weird lame ones. Marvel has its share. I wonder if they're doing that.
Coming out of the
random guy flying.
We are going to launch a division for them, and I want the She-Hulk to be the face of it.
So, usually I wouldn't be opposed to trying something different and quirky, like, hey, let's do a series based around the legal ramifications of superhero stuff, right? But everything's been so bad, we just want good regular superhero stuff. And when we hear that, this is going to be a completely different setup of a type of superhero show, it's like, oh no, it's going to be awful.
Jennifer Waters.
You remember him, don't you? It's the Abomination, isn't it? Pretty sure it's
Yeah.
Abomination. I actually enjoyed him in his series Lie to Me. So this actor, he's a series called Lie to Me. It's kind of someone else's attempt to make a show kind of like The Mentalist. And the first arc of Mentalist was great. The Red John arc, Mentalist. And look, Lie to Me was hard. It was decent. It wasn't bad.
Namaste.
I have a serious conflict of interest. This man tried to kill my cousin, Bruce.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Oh.
I don't know. Was that supposed to be a joke? Was it like really?
That is peak comedy right there, Shad.
Where's the punchline? Oh, this is okay.
People only care because I'm representing Emil Blonsky.
I think they care because they're like, hey, that girl's great.
Jen, do your thing.
God, I really like this outfit.
It wasn't really changed when she... Maybe slight ripping, I don't know. So the wrestler villain lady obviously is meant to look cringe, so... You know, that's intentional. It's not looking engaging. Again, it's like, she's so great, look at everyone loving her. Where's the conflict?
I'm not proud of this.
Is she breaking the fourth wall again? Is this going to be a regular speaking to...
Chad has said that she does in the comics, but a lot better.
Really? Okay, so is she one of the rare characters that breaks the fourth wall? I never got that from the comics I read with She-Hulk. Okay.
I'm not proud of this.
Miss Walters, we have.
So I heard, right, that Disney is panicking once again, that Miss Marvel bombed so massively that they're basically know that this is going to bomb massively, and so to try and draw people in, they're throwing in an insane amount of cameos. So Wong comes in, and there's going to be other people, everything, and they lack the ability to make something interesting based on and there was enough to work with. Like, they made a success out of Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Barely anyone knew who Guardians of the Galaxy was. They were not mainstream, right? But you get people talented, and they can even take D, A, B, C, D list or B list, whatever characters, right? And make something great out of them. But you don't have that anymore. Like, Disney is controlling way too much, not letting creative people do something good with them, and they don't even have faith in these properties anymore.
We answer to a higher power. Our universe is on the edge of a precipice.
I am a lawyer. We do things by the book.
The Book of Ashanti.
No. The Book of American Laws.
That's where, like, that is such lame humor. I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Also, I will admit that last frame there of her expressing, the Book of Human American Laws, that looked very uncanny to me. That was, I felt uneasy.
So have people heard how, like, Disney isn't paying their VFX artists enough and not giving them enough time? And so I'm not blaming the VFX artists now. It's all Disney trying to churn out this sludge of content, not giving people enough ability to finish the job. He referenced the Book of Ashanti. That's the book that in Doctor Strange, isn't it? Like that because that broke so much canon. It's like, oh, there was a book that people knew of that just gave incredible power that you could defeat Thanos with it, and they knew of it beforehand, and they didn't use it in Endgame. They don't care about canon and...
Whether you like it or not, you're now a superhero.
Let's do this. You know that friend you had in high school who was way cooler than you were attractive?
Yeah, I remember the, let's get the previous trailer where she was going through the Tinder dates. It gave it such a feel of, made for middle-aged Tinder women. And that's the thing, it's like, which audience are they really trying to go after? Because that's a tiny, tiny audience if that's the audience they want to capture. It's like, the mainstream comic book audience was huge. That's why comic books were doing really well back in the day. But it's not made for regular fans now.
Did it. Got all the attention from everyone.
Again, I'm so wonderful. Look at me. I'm great again. This is just awful. Not only that, she's now vain, above from being arrogant and everything. This character looks awful, unappealing.
I think I'm jealous. Is that what I'm feeling?
Oh boy, that was awful. There we go. What do you, Nathan? There, we can get rid of that now. What were your thoughts on that, Nathan?
Here's what I'll do.
Here's what you.
I'll come around.
You'll come around. Come join me, Nathan. I'll get the audio going. So there was a couple more super chats. We want to make sure.
Yes, that we get those.
We get those. It's refreshing. It should bring up. Oh no, there's. It'll come through a bit later for me. But I've got the super chats here. Let me see if they're still. So I got this one, and it's about the BS. So this is from the gym about the BS around the Rings of Power. They licensed an unpublished notebook. They licensed an unpublished notebook to explicitly change canon. Is this not a vandalism lawsuit? You can't rent a room in someone's house and knock out a wall.
Without permission.
All right. That could lead us into other discussions, so we'll come back to things like that. But thank you for the super chat, and I'll revisit it because I wanted Nathan's views on the trailer. Nathan, what was
Look, I completely agree. I don't think they know who their target audience is for this. Because you have Hulk from the Avengers, so you're thinking all those hardcore comic book fans.
Mm-hmm. And he's getting crapped on, played off as a joke and an idiot.
And then you have, obviously, She-Hulk, who is this Mary Sue character who's you go girl, just doing what she wants feminism-wise. And then they're doing all these cameos for, obviously, the other Marvel fans. Not only am I confused whether or not I should or should not watch this, because it's giving me mixed messages, I just... It honestly, everything that Marvel's come out with the past, ever since Endgame, has all felt like filler. Yeah. It's all felt like...
Nothing of substance.
Just watch this until we figure out how to make something good again. Which, obviously, not going to. It's just going to become a more degenerate pile of garbage, basically, like we did in the previous video. They're just going to keep churning out what they think will be successful, and it's not going to work out for them because we've seen that...
Yeah. And I mean... If you were to look at this trailer, I saw a super chat from Dr. J. Shad, you missed the trailer after titles? So there's something after the title.
Okay.
So we'll go back and have a quick look at that. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. If we were to just look at the trailer and the character as presented from the trailer, she was so great, look at me, arrogant, vain, whiny as well. It's like... I mean, if they're trying to make the stereotypical feminist, they're doing a great job, but they're not that popular, people.
You got to make your character at least a bit likable, or you want them to. You want to have some investment in them.
Yeah.
But because she's so good at everything, because she just knows what she wants, and because she has all the powers and abilities and has the job and everything, I'm not rooting for her and anything because there's nothing to root for in. Like,
someone says in chat, this show is for Disney wine mums. They are a cult to their own. Like, yeah, that seems to be the target audience. It's like, what the heck? Oh my goodness, it looks awful. I feel she will have a big fall at the start. That seems to be where she might need her power. She'll have an accident. She-Hulk will be the Batwoman of the MCU. Maybe.
Oh, those are fighting words right there.
Oh, very well could be. It consumes a product and it waits for a new product. Yes, the modern day super feminists. It's going to be a feminist girl power fan fest, this. And it's going to bomb because... Who was the original, there's a massive audience for comic book stuff. Look at how, Rippaverse is going, right?
Yeah.
Eric July. It's exploding. I think it's past 3 million now, showing there is a huge hungry audience still for superhero content. I do not buy into the narrative that people are getting tired of superhero stuff. I have loved superheroes my whole life.
And you've never gotten sick of it?
I've never gotten sick of it. Give me good superhero content and I am there. All right? That's it. That's it. They're not doing poorly because people are getting tired. They're doing poorly because they friggin' suck.
Because they are doing poorly.
Yeah, they are making garbage. Oh my goodness, so I'm going to try and refresh this because I want to get some of the other super chats.
Do you want me to show the last after credit bit as well?
Yes. So we'll do the after credit thing and then we'll quickly catch up with the super chats. Make sure that they are appearing. Oh yeah, good. So there we are. I got some of the more recent ones here. So we'll go back to the She-Hulk thing. Let's see how wonderful this after credits thing is. Cameo! Let's try and then. Oh my goodness. There's the jangling keys. Did you see that, people? Did you see who that was? Did you see? Look, it's Daredevil. Just in case people don't know. This is 100% Daredevil. Oh. This looks like he's wearing a different outfit, though. That looks like the yellow-red one.
Because he's reborn now, isn't he? It's a new birth. It's going to lead into his own series.
She seems to be wearing the more stereotypical She-Hulk outfit there, except, you know, made more proper. I was like, you can't have the male gaze, so the leotard isn't appropriate anymore. We'll give her shorts instead. And shorts just look goofy. I'm just like, they just, yeah. What are you thinking, Nathan?
They're just, you know, the more I think about it, the more I think Chat's right in that they are so scared of this failing. They're throwing in, we're going to have Spider-Man in here too. We're going to bring back Robert Downey Jr. for a little bit, for a vision. Like, they're going to try and just put anything in here to get everyone to watch.
If they could do Spider-Man, I think the contract, the agreement between them and Sony has been running dry, and they might need to renew it. But now Sony has way more clout. The only reason that brought Sony to the table is that their Spider-Man properties were failing drastically. And so that caused the agreement to allow Spider-Man to be used in the MCU. And I think it was only for 3 films. They've done the 3 films now. Spider-Man is now the most popular Marvel property. Like, out of what was released recently, No Way Home destroyed all the other Marvel products and everything. And so Sony, I think, are back on board with trying to do a Spider-Man kind of universe thing. But then again, Morbius just bombed astronomically. So that could bring them back to the negotiating table. But you're right, in the sense that they're going to throw in as many friggin' cameos as they can fit. And that doesn't make a thing better. Back in the day, cameos meant something. Like, I still think I've got the comic book where Spider-Man teams up with Daredevil, and it was a great comic. It was one of the first. That was actually my first introduction to Daredevil, actually, the cameo with Spider-Man and Daredevil. And it was great. It was meaningful. This is going to be, I bet, like a couple of minutes. Appears, then disappears, you won't see him again. Jangling keys. Draw people in because they know their show is crap. Yeah. Lame. But thank you for letting us know, like, that was there. Oh, my goodness. All right, so I'm going to quickly refresh Super Chats, make sure. So, I'll just go backwards from what I have there. So, someone said miss, thank you. From Taker610, cheers from the motherland, Utah. Haha. Did you guys know that there's finally a female dwarf depicted in Tolkien? It's a first... It's a first only it isn't. Again, edge of a precipice is redundant. Kang will be in Ant-Man. Yeah, so there were female dwarves depicted in The Hobbit. We covered this in our previous video, actually. Check it out. Okay, so the Jim was mentioning the BS around the Rings of Power, that they licensed an unpublished notebook to explicitly change the canon. So they're working from the appendices. Is that what he's referring to there? Maybe. Yeah, but they are changing canon. In actual fact, I find this so insulting. They're trying to say this is the book that the book Tolkien never wrote, trying to say that they are the equivalent of Tolkien when we're writing his untold story. The hubris behind that is insulting, like beyond belief. They don't even approach a fraction of Tolkien's talent and depth. And they're just trying to ride off of someone else's success and legacy to push their own agenda. It's insulting. Huron the Steadfast for $5, thank you, sir, says, a little off topic, but have you seen the trailer for Sylvester Stallone's new movie called Samaritan? It's on Amazon Prime at the end of August. I haven't seen that trailer. I'll keep it, because that might be one of the... See, Amazon has been putting out these more action-focused, non-woke stuff, which were half decent. We got Reacher, something. My brain just went dead. What was it? It was...
Terminalist.
The Terminalist.
Yep.
And maybe, so there's obviously different groups in Amazon. One that is full woke, which is like Wheel of Time, Rings of Power people. But then there's this other group that seems to be, I don't know, left alone or allowed to do half-decent stuff still. Okay, and so that's all the Super Chats that came up from there. Unless there's anything new that's come up recently, I think we're back up to date. Make sure this one... Oh yeah, so AO Freak for $10 says, just wanted you to shout out Rippaverse one more time. It's so awesome. Yeah, totally. So Eric July, making his own independent comic book universe, absolutely killing it. It is amazing to see. And it really just shuts down this idea that people are getting tired of superheroes and we don't want superheroes, and that there's not a rabid fan base wanting this content. And the failure of Marvel Comics and DC Comics is wholly due to themselves and the crap content they're making. Absolutely. All right. There we go. That was one trailer. We might have enough time to do another trailer, but that one was just awful. Oh, like leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I need to clean it out.
Now, do you want to do a better do you have any trailers lined up that you think are going to be good?
I don't know. So these are the trailers that we have on the list, guys. And let's go through. I think some will be better than others, but we'll see. So let me just quickly bring up the list. This one. This one. There we are. It's here. So the list we've done She-Hulk. I was kind of considering going through... I've done a Dungeons & Dragons trailer reaction on Shadiversity, mainly for the weapons, fantasy aspects and everything. But I was considering doing a D&D one looking at the adaptation, the fall of Dungeons & Dragons, and the issues that Wizards of the Coast are doing. They've become so woke. It's... Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, we haven't looked at yet. Don't have high hopes. I don't think that'll be good either. Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Do you like Shazam? Shazam? The first one?
It was more tolerable than others. It's not great, but it was barely passable. Black Adam, I have seen that one. It looked meh. And then there's John Wick 4. And John Wick 1 was great. John Wick 2 and 3 were average to bad. So the plot armor in 2 and 3 is insane. And so I don't have high hopes of John Wick 4, but they are fun, brainless action flicks. They're fun. They're fun. And so the best one is probably John Wick 4. And I have seen the John Wick 4, but I have issues with John Wick 4. If you saw how it ends, you'll know why I've got issues. I'm always saving that for Shadiversity because it doesn't surprise me with where John Wick has been going. But Lady Fossilette says... Hail and well met, praying for your steadfast warriors. Thank you. May your watch be unfaltering. In other news, have you seen the trolling comments? Oh, yes! On the SDCC trailer. Is that SDCC? I know that's Rings of the Power, but is it... I hope what you see there will bring you some laughs. Hey, chat, what's SDCC? I thought she's referring to the new Rings of Power one, but that's not an acronym that's coming to me.
Oh, I've seen that one before. I'm trying to remember what it was.
But I do want to read out some of the trolling comments on the Rings of Power trailer, because some of them were hilarious. San Diego Comic-Con. So, comics on the San Diego Comic-Con trailer. Okay, thank you, chat, for letting us know what that is. All right. Is this just a trailer for the San Diego Comic-Con? Could you look that up, Nathan? Find a trailer for... Because that might be a laugh for us to do together. Thank you for the super chat, though, Lady Fossilot. And there's another super chat from Myriosphere Origins. Blah, blah. Thank you for the super chat, though. Hail to one of my favourite channels and love your book. As a new writer, I emailed you the digital copy of my book. I love to get your feedback. It helped me improve on a writer as well. Thanks. Oh, thank you. I'm really glad you liked the book. Okay, I'll have a look through my emails. We might have missed that one. We get a good number of them these days. And I am restricted by time, but hey, sometimes I do have the moment to be able to quickly have a read through and give some feedback. So maybe.
So she was talking about the Rings of Power, the last trailer we reacted to.
Yeah.
Reading the comments on that video, and I did scroll through. There's a few good ones.
So the Rings of Power one.
Yep.
Yeah. I know there's hilarious ones for the Rings of Power. So let's actually do that. So let me go Rings of Power. Rings of Power trailer. There it is. It's the one on, the 30 million views on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Just to get an insight, I'm quickly going to look up, so don't bring up my screen. I'm going to quickly see if I can install Bring Back Dislikes.
I've got mine installed.
Yeah.
So it's got 75k likes, 255 dislikes. To 255,000.
1,000, I was going to say. This is like, hang on.
They're deleting dislikes, everyone. No. Yeah, that is that's a...
But this is the thing. Been added. So if that's been added, I'm going to see if it's working now. It's to return the dislikes, people, all you have to do is literally type in Google, return YouTube dislike, okay? And the first thing that comes up is the extension. You click, you install it.
Boom.
Done. There. And so already I have the dislikes back. Oh, this is the first one. Okay, I was wondering, this is way too high because I've got 1.7 million down dislikes to 128,000 up. So the ratio is insane. But this must be the first teaser because that one got downvoted to oblivion. So let me go back.
I want the Helmet Hill.
Yeah, we need the Helmet Hill. A recent main teaser. No, we've seen that. Rings of Power teaser. Where's the... Look, if I just go to Prime Video, and I'm going to have to type in Rings of Power. Because a lot of people upload the same trailer on other sites. Like there's a trailer on IGN. San Diego Comic-Con trailer. There you are. So it's... Do you want to bring up my screen, Nathan? So if you guys could see this is the like to dislike ratio. 75,000 up to 255 down, but this is the thing. The extension is able to calculate the dislikes through some type of algorithm. It doesn't know the exact dislikes, and as a result, it always calculates low. The actual true dislikes, and this is consistent. I can check this with my own videos. I'll look at the dislike ratio as presented by this extension and then go to the real dislike amount in my YouTube analytics, and the real dislike amount is always higher. So this is already looking real bad, but the reality is it'll at least be like 50% more, and it might even be double, like in terms of dislike. It's going to be that level of disparity. And so this is getting downvoted into oblivion, and you just love to see it. I love the Lord of the Rings community. It's great. Feel free to interrupt me with super chats though, Nathan, as we go. I've noticed that we got a couple
we've got a few off-topic ones.
Oh, okay. So we'll wait for the off-topic ones. Let's finish this arc of the Rings of Power. So this is the thing. This is what I've heard. This is so beautiful that they've been deleting people posting the quote comments and what they can do, because in the YouTube analytics you can actually type in words or phrases that auto flag and auto delete. And so I think what they've done is that if you try and do the classic quotes people have been putting under these trailers, it's getting auto-deleted. Like, can you see any of those quotes there, Nathan? So instead, people have been trolling the comments, and this is just so good. Let's read some of them. The part where Kylo Ren tells Sauron that his parents were nobodies, but then Rocky Balboa swings into frame and declares, "I pity the fool," and bam, the theme song to Murder, She Wrote starts blasting, chills. And that's the most popular comment at the moment. The next one is when Tom Bombadil goes, "Frodo, I am your father. It is such a shocking and awe-inspiring moment. Not even Tolkien himself could have conceived such a sublime sequence." I love the part where Aragorn draws his sword and says, "For Frodo," as Led Zeppelin starts to play, really makes Tolkien's work better. So, I love this so much, the subtext. They're all essentially saying what we're writing, the comments that we're saying, is as good as what you've made in this trailer. It says in place as the random stuff you've made up. What you got there, Nathan? Did you
People just laughing.
Yeah,
we're getting crying, laughing emojis from how good those are.
I know, this is like gold. Another one, the part where Boromir said, "Winter is coming," absolutely floored me. Not even George R.R. Tolkien could conceive such a profound scene. Can't wait for the Rings of Winter book to come out. What I like about this one is that they're almost, it's like they're taking the position of the creators. The creators have that level of understanding of the lore and misunderstanding crap. It's just the part where Sauron says Autobots transform and Gandalf was stuck in Narnia drifting, where his RX-7 saying family over and over again gave me chills. 10 out of 10, Tolkien's couldn't have wrote it better. And they keep going. Like, the fan base are friggin' legends. I love these guys. It's amazing. It just keeps going.
Jay said in chat, who would win? A multi-billion-dollar company or internet trolls?
And these are all the most upvoted comments, right? They're deleting them, but they can't keep on top of them all. It's amazing.
I'm just sorry for that person in charge of deleting comments, and they're just like, you know what, these ones are funny, we'll keep these ones. I haven't been told not to delete them, so I won't delete them.
It is just... And you can keep scrolling. I'll scroll down heaps, right? And it's just... You can see the part that they're all starting to... The part where Galadriel wanders the streets of Amelon shouting, "Oysters, clams and cockles" really spoke to me on a spiritual level. Such a brave journey for a character. Did you find one?
I don't know if you... hopefully this one's good. The part where Galadriel cheekily asks Elrond, "You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?" Stirred my very soul. It brought tears and joy to my face. What a strong character. Tolkien would be proud.
The part where Sauron speaks to the Power Rangers, "My friends, you bow to no one," makes me teary all over. Truly masterpiece of full time. And I'm like way down in the comments and it just keeps going. Oh my goodness, it's great. Oh gosh. Everyone's hating this and the fan base is just galvanizing. It's so good to see. Here's a question though, okay? Will Rings of Power be successful upon release? Because I'm annoyed at what they've done so much. If I wasn't reviewing this, I would not watch it. I wouldn't even hate watch this thing. I'd be so insulted. I wouldn't want to give Amazon my time. The thing is though, I'm already subscribed to Amazon, so I wouldn't be paying anything more, but they must track viewership figures. They obviously do that. Reviewing, as a reviewer, this stuff needs to be called out and their feet held to the fire and stuff. But I'm wondering, and I've been talking with
Sorry, what was that, Nathan?
Oh no, I just saw someone in chat did another good funny one. It's like, I loved it when Will Smith fires a missile into Sauron's eye and then slaps Sauron. Sorry, chat. Some of these. I get so much joy out of this, though. I have to admit, as much as I'm saddened by this TV series,
the dumpster fire
the community's coming together to hate on it.
I know, and this is what the response should have been to Wheel of Time, to Star Wars, to Terminator, Dark Fate, to all the crap that is being co-opted and subverted and stuff. But it is soothing to my soul to see it actually happen appropriately, because the fans are on the ball with this. So many people got suckered into Wheel of Time, and I was one of them. Honestly, I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. They fooled me. They pulled the rug out my eyes. I'm not fooled anymore, and we're prepared for season 2. But Lord of the Rings community seeing through it right away, and so I've been talking with Kramer from Living Anachronism. Great channel. Check it out if you guys haven't. And wondering what could be done in terms of trying to tell Amazon properly that fans are rejecting this. This is great. This is clearly doing something. I mean, it would be great if it... Because, well, ideally we want it to bomb to show them that it's wholly rejected. But I just don't know if it actually will or not. I think there's going to be a lot of people who will... actually want to hate watch it to see what the dumpster fire is. So, should we try and push for a movement to, instead of watching Rings of Power, reading Lord of the Rings or watching the original Peter Jackson trilogy?
Yeah, writing the books or the original trilogy.
I don't know. The thing is, though, even to say me and Kramer, because Kramer was the one who came up with that idea, credit to him, if we did like a hashtag or something like that, it would be a drop in the bucket. There's so many normie people who are not part of the Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings fan base, our fan base, that are still going to watch it, right? And is it a fruitless endeavour? Well, that, might not achieve much. I don't think it's fruitless to criticise. We need to criticise. We need to call it out. We'll roast it, because that does get attention. When normies go on YouTube and they look up Rings of Power and they see this random video saying, here's all the issues with it, it's actually garbage, let us explain it to you, that catches the normie kind of crowd, and then they start to realise, oh wow, this was really insulting to Tolkien, and they join our side. And so it's too big. So someone says it's too big to be a success. Rings of Power is a flop walking. I would love it. I would hope so. We should fully boycott it. Yeah, that's what would be my stance if I wasn't reviewing it. Because as a reviewer, we actually need to be pretty darn quick off the bat. But what I find really encouraging, a lot of people are looking more forward to our review of it than the Rings of Power. And they're hanging out to see us roast it, which I find, delicious. Thank you, guys. But to satisfy you, we do want to get that review out quickly. Yes, I will watch your reviews if you... Yeah, we're definitely going to be making... Yeah, see, millions will still watch. Boycotts don't work, but after the first season, people that have enjoyed J.R.R. or Christopher's work will potentially be saying... So this is interesting. This is what most likely will happen if we want to see a win, right? A lot of people will watch season 1. And if it's a dumpster fire, which is very much looking like it will be, they won't give a crap about season 2. Look at... This is probably not... I don't know, I wonder how applicable this is, but look at what happened with the He-Man reboot. The atrocity that Kevin Smith did, right? Everyone was talking about it because it was such a bait-and-switch bullcrap desecration to the character of He-Man that no one watched season 2. Like, it was not even a blimp on the radar, to the point where Kevin Smith came out begging people to watch it, essentially, saying, it's really good, it fixes so many... It's like, no one gave a crap. And that was actually one of the most poetically effective results of pushback against woke subversion that I've ever seen, just ignoring it. We didn't even bother look. I haven't watched it, I haven't reviewed it. And that's probably the best case scenario for Rings of Power. Part 2, you mean? Yeah, it was part 2. You know, they're making like a part 3. no one cares. And Kevin Smith came out saying, it's all going to be about He-Man, I swear, and no one believes it. That's what he said with the first release. Don't give us that crap. Yeah, see, He-Man, someone says He-Man's getting another season, I know. And no one cares. You ruined it. Hey, interesting thing on that note, Netflix did a different He-Man rebooted animated series, a 3D animated series.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's not terrible. It's actually, they reinvent some things because it is a full-on reboot, but it's actually not terrible. It's half decent. Go watch that if you want some cool He-Man stuff, not the Kevin Smith bullcrap. Yeah, someone says, I forgot about it. Yeah. Download site. So I'll do some of the super chats, catch up on some of the super chats here. Let me bring them up just a second. So, all right, so I'm going to go down off topic. Cheers from the motherland. This only has one extra. I know there's been a couple more, so let me refresh it. Bring them all up. Okay. So, off topic. There's the off topic one. You should watch Drew House. Okay, so starting with Nudok Prime. Is that €2? I think it's €2 or £2. Well, thank you, sir. You should watch the Groot trailer. So, I know of the Groot trailer. I've seen some clips from it. That looks mostly inoffensive. It's just Groot doing random, fun, stupid things. It looks like a nothing serious. So that might be the funnest thing to react to not roast, because it might be the only one that doesn't look terrible. Let us know, guys, if you want us to react to Groot as something to not be disappointed by. But maybe we will be. Maybe it'll be awful. Don't know. Iron Fox for $49.99. Thank you, sir. Off topic, but if you look at a plate of titanium and an equally sized plate of steel tempered to be stronger than titanium, then replace the titanium with another plate thick enough to equal the weight of steel, which is stronger. I do not know. So I actually have... So we're on stream, it's casual. Hey, Nathan, could you go grab my new Brigandine?
The new one?
The new one. I'll show you guys something interesting. The Shadiversity fans would probably be more interested in seeing the Brigandine. That's a Gambison, the one, the biggest Brigandine there. Yes, that's the one. I don't know what to do with this. Okay, so I want people to check this out. All right, check this out. Look at this incredible. How awesome is this, right? So this was going to be another kind of sponsorship from Steel Mastery. Steel Mastery are the ones that gave me my first Brigandine. And also my phone Brigandine. And it's the stuff I wear. They made great stuff. They sent it to me, ready to do a review kind of shout out thing, and then their country got invaded because they're based in Ukraine. And look, I am not going to get into politics or anything like this. What I will say is that these were great people, really friendly, friends to the channel, made great products, and their lives have been utterly ruined. And I don't know if they'll ever come back, and it breaks my heart. And I don't know what to do, because I wanted to wear it, introduce it on the channel as this big kind of, check it out, because this is the thing, this is the other special thing about this, and that's why it's related to the comments. It's titanium. It's made it, this is a titanium Brigandine, right? That was the special thing about it. For armor, it's much lighter than steel, and I'm all about finding armor that's more wearable and light, but in terms of holding its shape, it's pretty good. Titanium is crap for holding an edge, but holding its shape in armor, it's actually not a bad thing, and they wear it in Bohurt and stuff, and it's lighter. So it would have been a really interesting thing to explore, with titanium in armor and everything. But now the company's basically dead. They might come back if things get resolved, but I have no idea, and I haven't had contact. And so it's kind of in limbo. And I want to wear it, yet I don't want to wear it, because when I wear it, I want to give them the credit they deserve. Breaks my heart. And it's friggin' titanium, guys. It's this awesome thing. Yeah, How the People of Steel Mastery. I haven't had it update. They say their website is still up. Interesting. Maybe I'll give them an email. I wonder what's going on. But again, it's a freaking war going on. So, yeah. As to which is stronger, I would need to do tests and everything. Some tests have been done. I know Metatron has tested some greaves and things, like steel greaves versus titanium greaves. And titanium, it certainly prevents, like, sword stuff. As to level of puncturing, and that would be versus arrow fire and lance strikes from horseback, steel might still be stronger. Like, when I say that, that would be like hardened steel. They didn't always have hardened steel. They had carbon steel in the medieval period. It's a complex subject. See, already it deserves its own video, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Can't really give you an exact answer. So Marby Dog says, for $10, medieval movie, Czech production, English language. Yes, I know, yeah. So hang out for Sunday Night Swords. That's where I'll be looking at the movie, the trailer, which is called Medieval, and I'll do a deep dive on what I can see about the accuracy of weapons and armor and other things. Air Freak? I don't know how to pronounce it. $10, thank you. I don't want to sound like a shill, but seriously, Aussie Comic Bros, you guys can get Isom 2, Rippaverse. Ripper does international shipping, so go check out Rippaverse. Like, seriously. And I have my own graphic novel that is in limbo. But it's really made me wonder. One of the things that Rippaverse is really in his ballpark is like, I'm taking on Marvel. This is going to be a superhero universe and it's going to get a lot of attention. I don't think mine will get nearly as much attention because it's the graphic novel adaptation of my novel, yet it does open up to a new audience. So I don't know. I do not know how well it'll do. I know I have a minimum goal that I want to reach, but then, yeah. Someone says, I'm going to paraphrase this from Alexander Cross. He says, the key be sailing the high seas. Because there are legal implications of endorsing certain things. And if you like sailing the high seas, maybe that is your answer. Jason Solo for $5 says, thank you, sir. The part where Shrek barged into Mount Doom and shouted, "What are you doing in my swamp?" I felt that on a spiritual level. Me too. Right here. Okay, so someone says, Enderaid says, why don't you put up a petition that makes news? It's a wild card. And I'm guessing this is in regards to boycotting Rings of Power. People do petitions, even ones that get heaps and heaps of numbers, and they don't really do anything. There are a couple of times when petitions do have weight. For instance, if you can get a petition signed by a certain amount of people on a subject that is related to politics, if it gets over a certain amount and they have their addresses, everything, it must be debated in Parliament or something like that. I know that exists in Britain, I think. You need over a certain amount. But these companies, they don't. I know, for instance, I did a petition to get Thane Threaten's channel back, and there was enough people, giving an outcry that my YouTube rep responded and he was able to bring it back. But that's when you have like a connection of someone who cares. Just trying to get YouTube, these faithless company, and same with Amazon, then I don't know. Unless it gets insane amounts. So it's one of those things where I'm not sure it's worth the effort. Because a lot of times, most of the time, they don't do a thing. June Bug says, I didn't know where you live. In Australia. The land of Oz. So that's that's the ones that were here. I can refresh and see if there's any new ones. But were the new ones coming in?
New ones have come through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are a few.
There are a few. All right. I'll refresh it. Bring it back up. Yeah, there are a couple. Dapper Hell Jumper 101 for $20. Thank you. After witnessing so much of what could or should be entertaining be butchered, I joined up with a small indie dev team to help make games I would actually want to play. I thank you for your content overall and your reviews. Thank you and good luck. Yes, make your own stuff. If nothing good is being made, you can make your own. If you have the talent, do it. And if you don't have the talent, you can learn to do the talent. Go forward. Samaroto5 for $20 says, Kevin Smith is in every episode. Fans. Does he step aside again? Kevin. He's in every episode. Fans. But is he the hero? Kevin. He's in every episode. Fans. Does he do anything? Kevin. He's in every episode. Exactly. That's what he's been saying. He's like, He-Man's in every episode. It's like, all right, tell us the context. That guy has become such a snake, like a two-faced lying snake, and he was always about the fans and everything, and then he starts lying through his teeth. The He-Man thing made him fall from grace massively. Bob Dorsey, $50. Thank you, sir. You guys are reaching more than you think. Regular people are asking the same questions you are. Amazon destroyed Wheel of Time. They'll get no chances from me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hang out for our Wheel of Time Night's Watch video, where Oz and I react to the behind-the-scenes sneak peek. Should be coming out, like I said, tonight, if you're in Australia, tomorrow morning. And yeah, we do a bit of a deep dive. It's all the same mistakes by the look of it. Nothing looks better than Season 1, but there's a deep dive, so we're keeping an eye on, we're staying on watch. That's what we do here. We stay watchful, and we're not cutting. We usually cut to credits because that was a smooth transition, but we're not going to. We're just going to keep going. But that's what we do. It's the metaphorical crusade we're watching to hold their feet to the fire, hold them to account, and we're keeping an eye on Wheel of Time because it breaks my heart that they fooled so many people with Wheel of Time. And Amazon was clever. They did the they did the invite some of the largest names of Wheel of Time to the release and everything, got the access. And I actually think even honest people, and I probably might even fall for that, you meet the people in person and everything, and they're friendly and stuff, and it just changes the frame of mind approach where you start looking at it more charitably, even if you're not aware of it. And there's been cases of people who were invited to the event and everything, and they were very, very charitable in their episode reviews, and then after the fact, when they actually looking at it more objectively, they're like, okay, Wheel of Time Season 1, there are a lot of issues that I need to acknowledge. So it goes to show you that what they did actually worked, makes the fans of Wheel of Time be far more charitable than they should have been. And I don't feel I was overly charitable, but I was willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. Now I'm not, because they betrayed me so much and betrayed Wheel of Time. But thank you very much for the super chat. Tom Sawyer Piper for $4.99. Thank you, sir. The answer is it doesn't matter. The slab of steel that thick would be altogether too heavy to use for anything other than armor-plated vehicles. Well, there we go. Thank you for the answer. Because if you go into thickness, yeah, thickness is important. Because this is interesting, right? The plates on this this one, which is titanium, are only like a millimeter thick, right? But titanium, I forget the weight reduction. Is it a third the weight of steel or something like that? And so one of my issues, especially for like both doing LARP or reenactment, is that I want something that looks authentic and real. And this like, you can't mistake the this for having solid plates underneath it. You can actually hear it for being metal, but it's so much lighter. It might be a little bit heavier than aluminium, but aluminium is actually an interesting thing because I now have aluminium chainmail. Looks really good and real after it's painted, but it's so much lighter and wearable. Okay, those are the super chats I have. We can interact with chat unless there's a couple more.
Yeah, while we refresh, I think there are more that have come through.
Okay, I'm up to date in the regular chat. So Alexander Cross says, "Yeah, the term be sailing the sea with the internet."
Intent.
With intent. Yes, sailing the sea with intent. Thank you, Alexander Cross, $2. Iron Fox for $1.99. Godspeed to Steel Mastery and all of Ukraine. Yeah, I'm really minded. Like, these were good people, and lives are just ruined. And not only did they send me that, I have this new Gambison, which is this great, awesome Gambison, has the Shadiversity symbol in gold things. I've worn it occasionally. And I can't really give them a shout out because it'll do nothing at the moment to help their business, because their business is, yeah. Taker610 says, "Shad, have you played the Soul Calibur fighting game series? I love how every character has a unique weapon style tailored to the weapon." Oh, yes, I have. And not only that, I actually have done a review on Night's Watch right here. If you look up Soul Calibur, I was very critical of Soul Calibur 6. Turns out, though, that they were not given a high budget in production, and so they had to cut those corners. Soul Calibur 6 was an overall letdown for me, because the single player sucked balls, and they reuse assets for the character creator and stuff. But the character creator is still one of the most versatile ones that you can find, and you can make some crazy fun different characters in it. And I have gone back just to make characters, but then once you make character, there's so little gameplay. But I love the Soul Calibur series. I'd like them to actually make something, get a bigger budget, do a proper, expand the character creator so they have wider variety of options with the outfits and things, and something, give us more gameplay. I was actually wanting to do a video on the announcements for the next Street Fighter game, because the Street Fighter game is doing something that I feel fighter games should have done friggin' ages, and I would have loved for Soul Calibur. They're doing like an open world in have you heard this? So
I've seen parts of it, yeah.
So the new Street Fighter, I think you can get to make your own character, and there's actually kind of like an open world, either campaign or parts to the game. And I was like, yes, that's the next evolution we need for fighting games. Give us gameplay that is not just actually gives us a reason to have all these fights going forward. Maximum 6 Ride, $10, thank you. Actually started listening to the Wheel of Time books after watching your videos on the uses of large-scale magic in battles, and the ending of the series is great. Wheel of Time is phenomenal. Right there, displayed proudly. I love the Wheel of Time. And there is a bit of a lull. I still really enjoy it, but for me there is a bit of a lull in the middle of the series, right around here, but then picks up towards the end. And it ends with just a bang. Anthony Rodinelli, thank you, sir, for $5. Call me Rondo. Okay, sir, Rondo, thanks. What does the chicken or rooster symbolize on the coat of arms armor? You can actually look it up. This is the thing. At once I found like a summary of all the meanings of the different symbols on coat of arms, that this meant this specific thing, this meant this. I've learned far more about the nuances of the medieval period to realize there was no standardization, okay? One country and region would have interpretations, meanings, practices, traditions, and everything that was completely different to another country and region. To say that this was like the interpretation of, say, the chicken specifically on the coat of arms for the whole medieval period, and not only region differences, but over different time periods, it's not the case. You would actually find multiple different meanings or symbolisms for the rooster, depending on the region. And what that also means is that the individuals, most likely, they could pick their own symbolisms and what it meant to them. I did this when I was diving into the concepts of coat of arms, heraldry, and stuff. And it's more important to pick things and symbolisms that have reference to you upon interpretation. And you can see this on the sigil or device of Shadiversity. Shadiversity actually has some heraldic kind of influences, and it's a sword with a ring behind it. That was picked intentionally because the circle or ring has very significant symbolism to me religiously. It represents eternity. It's a symbol for God. It's a symbol for the celestial kingdom. And a symbol for truth as well, and other things like that. And so because I see those symbolisms in it, I picked that. And the position of the sword and what the sword represents has very significant symbolism to me specifically. And so that's what makes it important. It's what you define in those symbols and things. And if it's important to you, yeah, use it as your coat of arms, do it, and everything like that. It's interesting to know what they felt in the medieval period, what symbols meant what in regions and everything. But don't always trust the websites that say, this is the official definition of the medieval. It's like, no, they didn't have official standardization. Okay? So approach that with a grain of salt. But great super chat. Got me off on a bit of a tangent rant. I like that. Erin Kopp says, a YouTuber, Evan Royalty, is making a live-action short film based on the Stalker video game series and made a Kickstarter. They made other amazing shorts based on the SCP series. You should look into it. All right, I'll give it a look. And hey, there you go, guys. Give it a look if that sounds interesting to you. I like that's where one of the things that we're still having trouble with is making our own live action media of really high quality. We can write books of equivalent quality. I've written a novel that is right there, professional quality, and I made sure I got the best cover artists, best voice actors to make this a easily equal quality as something you would buy from a mainstream publisher. And you just look at the reviews to get an insight if people are receiving it on the same quality as well. And yes, they are, which is like wonderful. It's great. And so that one of the great things about literature is that if you do the study, figure out, you practice, you can write something equally as good. And other creators are doing that. Razor Fist has his own book coming out. And of course, Critical Drinker, Will Jordan, I believe his real name is a prolific author, okay? And so we are making culture in that regard. It's great to see comic book graphic novels pushing back, independent creators. The difficulty is in film and television. Takes video games, there's pushback as well. There's a lot of great indie developers. Nathan would know a lot about that, who are making their own stuff.
Yeah, actually, there's even been one of the Bethesda devs who's worked on Oblivion and Skyrim and all that. He's just quit and said, you know what? Got to make my own RPG.
Good on him. Is that the guy? Because one of the people who did work on not some bits of Oblivion, but also Morrowind, he made his own studio, and he's actually reached out to me to get some of my feedback on the weapon and armor designs. And he did an interview with a gaming YouTuber where he mentioned, yeah, we're working with Shadowverse now and then. All power to them. I hope they do great.
Yeah, also the guys who did Witcher, a few of the veterans there have started making their own things as well.
Yeah.
So the cool thing with game devs is that if you don't pay them well enough or you don't let them be creative, they just quit and do their own thing.
Yeah. Gaming hasn't become nearly as corrupted as mainstream Hollywood and TVs and everything like that. What?
It's getting
there, you think?
Rockstar announced the next GTA 5 game.
I've heard of that.
It's going to be very... I wrote it down in the notes. What did they say for the quote? It's going to be culturally sensitive.
And I've heard that they did that for Saints Row as well. Trust me, there's woke stuff in, and you see it, signs with Blizzard doing as well, BioWare. Oh, the big one that are becoming really woke, they make the Assassin's Creed franchise. Ubisoft. Oh my goodness. But then there are other ones that don't seem to pander nearly as much and just make good products, give us good games and stuff. And I think the backlash or response is felt quicker with gaming. But then again, I don't know, because Blizzard has just become awful. Like, look at what they did with Diablo Immortal. But the thing is, it sounds like it worked out for them. It sounds like they made insane bank by the worst type of exploitative microtransactions, vile, dirty crap. But it worked out for them. And so I don't think they're not going to change. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're like... But there's still great opportunity for indie devs in the gaming space. Making film and television, that is lots of budget. It is difficult. Interesting to see what the Daily Wire is doing. All power to them. I hope they succeed in making... And what's interesting about the Daily Wire, they just want to make good media. They've said they're not making this to be specifically conservative focused or that preach a conservative message. They just want good media, good movies, good film and everything like that. And just give us good stuff. And then to see where it that is something that I would like to explore. If I got to grow enough of a foundation to be able to invest in stuff, I personally love to try and explore adventure animation stuff that I kind of grew up on. There's He-Man and then adventure cartoons and stuff. I love that as a kid, right? There are certain ways, if I could buy the equipment to be able to make content at a more streamlined... Once you have the equipment, you could make it more streamlined at a lower cost if you set up things right, like motion capture. If I was able to make a big motion capture studio or something... What are you laughing at,
I just
Nathan?
laugh because that's what keeps me up at night.
Yeah?
How can I make affordable motion capture and good?
But the thing is, though, it doesn't need to be crazy. Because, you saw what Rooster Teeth did with Ruby, okay? Look, the budget ends up being taken a lot in a lot of the over-the-top action things where they need animators to go in and do a lot of things. But if you can get basic motion capture to get facial things, and then you can record the audio. If you get actors to do the motion capture, you can record the audio in the performance at the same time in a motion capture studio. You can cut out a lot of I would like to explore that. I'd like to explore that. Because remember, my passion is writing, and I have so many worlds, characters, stories. I have like an entire superhero universe I like to do. There's like sci-fi ones, of course, medieval fantasy, everything, and other concepts and ideas that you need the means to do it. So the only way you can build up to something like that, to start making animated TV content, even films and stuff like that, first you need to make money and a foundation. And so that's what we're trying to build here. Night's Watch, Shadiversity, Shadlands, trying to build. We'll see how we go. And if not, look, we'll still make I'm very happy where we're at, and very blessed with what we have, but I do have dreams to try and build up to bigger and better things. Okay, so that's what I like. It sends us on a discussion, and it's all good. So Iron Fox for $4.99 says, Shadiversity idea. Fans/subscribers submit sparring footage for you to review. Maybe. So for Sunday Night Swords, I'm going to review things that are often just shared to me that people want my reaction to. I have a bit of a list for the Sunday Night Swords that will be out that I'll do on the weekend. Fun things to review. So not just the medieval trailer. People have been linking me this video that shows like a flail axe. I'm definitely going to share my thoughts on that. And so Sunday Night Swords is going to be a lot of fun, where I'm going to kind of react and look at weird, wacky, fun internet things, and stuff like that could fit in with that. If you guys end up making something interesting and you link it to me, comes across my radar, I'd love to do stuff like that on the live stream. So thanks, Iron Fox. Alloy the Defender for $2.79 Canadian. Thank you. You and your team are awesome. Love the content. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Reverend Norse for 200 SEK. I don't know what, but still, thank you. Thank you very much. For the glory of the Shadlands, Shad, Nathan, what is your favorite genre of music? Nathan, you go first. Okay, Nathan's having trouble. I'll
you're more of a critic of music, I think.
Look, yes, but I'm also not a connoisseur of music. I don't have like playlists. I've never bought a single music track or CD in my life. That's how much of a normie I am with music. But of course, there's music I enjoy, but it's not tied to a specific genre. Like if it's good, I like it. I really like Sabaton's The Last Stand. That's one of my favourite songs. The Kryptonite one, I've always enjoyed. The Holy Grail one. I don't even know the artists who make these ones. But that's fun. Simon Garfunkel, are great. They got some great music. All across the spectrum, really. Josh Groban, really good. I enjoy... Man, he's got a voice. So there's music I particularly don't like, and this will probably trigger people fans of that. So I apologise. Personal taste, okay? I forget his name now, but I hate music where it's like melodic singing. It's like, I'm going down to the street, that type of stuff.
Country type stuff?
No. It's like blues kind of stuff where they just speak really in a melodic tone. There's one guy that's gotten pretty popular for that type of music, and my wife liked it, and I can't get into it. Those are my music thoughts. Nathan, what
So, watching K-dramas, okay, I do have some K-pop. But you know why? You know why I listen to K-pop?
Why?
Because it keeps me awake in the car when driving home.
Okay.
It's the only music that's loud enough to keep me going. But no, otherwise, look, I like my Beatles, I like my Queen, I like a good rock. Also, I can also do chill lo-fi when I'm cooking or cleaning the house.
Queen I can enjoy, because the guy's voice is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a degenerate. The Mercury guy, Freddie Mercury, but I separate art from the artist. That's what you got to learn to do. And the talent his voice is just unbelievable. Okay, so Tom Sawyer Piper for $4.99. Thank you, sir. What do you think you'll ever branch out? What do you think you'll ever branch out and look at some of the weapon systems of other cultures like Maori, Philippines with the same intensity? I'm not sure I ever will, except for the occasional thing. I love the medieval period. It's always been my passion. I love that period of history. And the thing is, there is so much to learn about this one thing. I could do it for a lifetime and I still will have only scratched the surface. And that's basically what I do. I still do really appreciate other cultures and other weapons, and they come up occasionally. Like Indian weapons come up a bit more often than other cultures because they got such variety, sometimes wacky, but had great steelworking technology. Indian weapons are pretty boss. And of course, there's the Asian ones. Katana always comes up because it's so popular. And sometimes I go into the Middle Eastern weapons because there's interesting interplay and trade between Middle East and Europe and stuff. And sometimes the crossover between what is Middle East and what is medieval European gets a bit skewed, especially when you look at like the Byzantine Empire and things. Maori, some interesting weapons. They're a bit low tech. I always am more interested in swords, and so there's not. But I know some of the Maori weapons because in Australia, closer to New Zealand and stuff, I've had good, association with people of Maori descent things and being able to see Maori cultural demonstrations, haka and weapons and things. And so their staff thing is an interesting one. Thing is though, it's as much as I love the stick, right? There's like more advanced sticks that's more. I've only ever made the stick meme so big, right? Is because it's such a basic weapon and the nunchuck has such trouble competing with it that if it can't beat a stick, how good is it really, right? And so that's made me meme it and push it further. But I've been honest about it and said the reality is a stick isn't actually a great weapon. There's vastly much better weapons. And so, the Maori staff kind of stick weapon that has like a more solid end and more thin kind of almost cutting in, but it's not really. Cool, it's interesting, it's a cool stick. Yet, where are the swords? I like swords. So, there's my answer to that. Thank you for the super chat though. Reverend Norse, glory to Nathan, Lord of the Tech. Wow, are you Lord of the Tech now, Nathan?
I wouldn't say Lord, because, every time we stream without failure, if there isn't one issue, then we know it's not going to be a good stream. If everything runs smoothly, I get too concerned. So I wouldn't give myself that title because it never goes that well.
So, Nudoc Prime is bringing up a bit of a topic here. Thank you for the super chat, Nudoc, but this might be its own little segment here because I have things to say on this subject that I haven't voiced on Night's Watch yet. So he brings up Vox Machina. Legend of Vox Machina was crowdfunded for 11 million and then bought by Amazon. I would love to see what you guys think of it. Okay, I have complex feelings about Vox Machina. I've heard good reports and it might actually be good. It is an animation based off of one of the campaigns of Critical Role. Critical Role is basically the most popular Dungeons & Dragons play group in the world. I don't necessarily have anything against them personally, but I do know that some of the people in them, in that group, are insanely woke and have attacked people for basically just being white and other things like that. And one of them ended up being the voice, one of the people from the Critical Role crowd, ended up being the host of, I think it was Star Wars: The Old Republic or something like that, and just quotes came out of what she has said about people's immutable characteristics. Because they're insanely woke. And I dislike people that judge others for immutable characteristics. I think that's rather racist and other things like that. And then the other thing is, I think they're also quite responsible for a lot of the downfall and corruption of Dungeons and Dragons and wokeifying D&D and everything, and having an issue with races, evil races. That's problematic, evil races. No, what's actually problematic is you seeing a connection between orcs and black people. Oh my goodness. And there is a bit of a causality connection between Critical Role and the some of the annoying things that's happening with Dungeons and Dragons, that type of fantasy scene as well and stuff, to the point where it's like I don't really where you get a sour taste in your mouth because you see all this woke stuff and you're just like, I'm not even going to go there. I don't. And unfortunately, that is kind of where I'm at with Vox Machina because of its origins. It could actually be good, and like I said, I've heard good things. Maybe one day I will get around to watching it because I can try and separate art from artists, And if it's actually good, I do wonder how much of the message is injected into it and stuff. Then there is a more personal kind of pet peeve. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to fantasy. I like the fantasy that's based on medieval folklore and history. I find that really that has origins and roots for me and stuff. And where mainstream fantasy is going is more and more diverted from that, which is kind of annoying. Give me elves, dwarves, hobbits, and everything, or halflings and things, where now it's like tieflings, drows, and war form or whatever they like, the machine type, golem type creatures. Part of me understands the fun of expanding fantasy to more wacky, crazy things, but I'm always going to prefer and appreciate the traditional fantasy that's based on medieval culture and history. And so it doesn't attract me as much as something that's, Lord of the Rings-esque, because, yeah. What do you...
Everyone's, claiming 3.5 D&D is the best. Anything afterwards...
Yes!
...is lame.
Yes!
Watered down.
Yes. See, even Forgotten Realms is starting to get to... Forgotten Realms at the time of Baldur's Gate was great because if you look at the aesthetic they did in the original Baldur's Gate games, it was very medieval. It looked like it had this great medieval aesthetic to it and Forgotten Realms goes very fantasy with cities ruled by wizards and things like that and everything, but it had this kind of more grounded traditional element to it, but now they've allowed Forgotten Realms to almost feel like Eberron or something crazy wacky where it's lost its connections. And so that's annoying as well. But 3.5, that's where I was at. So there, like I said, your super chat triggered a more complex thing and thoughts on that. Thank you for the super chat. And look, nothing against people that enjoy it. I just got that bad taste in my mouth. And all that stuff is I'm one of those crotchety old men boomers all this modern fantasy, embrace traditional fantasy and stuff. And I get it, though. There is fun in the wacky everything stuff. But all right. You know how we encourage people to do what you like? This is actually what the foundational thing of my own medieval fantasy setting in the book I'm currently writing. It's basically a very authentic medieval world, but with the fantasy mythology and traditions tied in a more realistically authentic way. And so fairies come from the Fae and stuff, and they don't exactly exist in the world, but they can drop through, and you might accidentally go into these other realms and stuff. And so there are monsters in the world, and it's basically like if you were to go back to the medieval period and the fairy tales, myths, boogeyman stories people share from one another were all founded on reality. Those stories were all real, and the troll under the bridge, the goblin in the forest, the witch in the woods. All that actually was founded on things that actually did exist in the world. And that would be the balance. And I love that setting. That's so yes, I'm making the setting as much as if you want an insight as to the type of fantasy and the balance, I've done role-playing sessions based in this world setting. So here, right on Night's Watch, there's a play series called The Curse of Silverthorn that I did with the other guys for the Community of the Sword. It's based in the world setting, and you'd get a balance of how I treat fantasy and stuff. That's really fun. I like it. There's a fun story in The Curse of Silverthorn. So, rambling. Thank you. Appreciate it. So that was Vox Machina. Ender Raids for $2 says, have you watched Primal? If not, it's an amazing show. Primal, I don't think... No, I haven't. I'm. It sounds oddly familiar, but I can't even recall what it is. I might have to look it up. Thank you for the super chat, though. Okay, so... Free... I don't know how to say your name. It's A-O-E-I-I Freak. Sorry. You guys are awesome. Can't wait for Wheel of Time Season 2. I hope just for the responses to Wheel of Time Season 2. I'm not looking for it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to roasting it. I'm divided on that. Because hey, you guys want to make that dumpster fire? We'll ride that wave as long as you do it. But at the same time, it hurts seeing Wheel of Time be bastardized again and again. Thank you for the super chat, though. It's funny, I'm scrolling through chat and just seeing some of the, so people that was Warforged, they were saying, the virgin non-human magic races versus the Chad human knight with nothing but steel and skill. I always liked the knight classes. Iron Fox for $4.99. He screams Machiculations. Machiculations! I save it for special moments now, okay? I won't do it on demand. It'll come out when appropriate. But I do appreciate it. Thank you. And I think that's us up to date on all the super chats at the moment, and this has been a lot of fun. We're at a kind of good point, wrapping up now, and so thank you everyone for joining us. It's a lot of fun. Remember, we're doing this weekly now. Stay tuned for more content coming out, of course, and there's more trailers to respond to. Maybe we won't even get to them all next week, and there'll just be we'll do it for another live stream. So Shad, someone says, need a Night's Watch D&D one-shot live. We are discussing role-playing. It's up for discussion at the moment. The tricky cost, the amount of effort to put in versus return. Does it deserve its own channel? Where to do it? How? Why? But it's on our mind. It's on our mind. Lady Fossilot for $5 says, at Night's Watch, would you consider creating your own in-country graphic novel company and print for Aussie creators? That would be exciting. Well, it wouldn't be a company, but I'd certainly want to create graphic novel. I have heaps of content that I could explore for that. It just need the foundation, the people to be able to pursue doing that. And so depending on how successful this graphic novel, when I finally get it out, might open up doors and means to be able to produce more. Hopefully. But I thought Game Night was a channel, but apparently not. It used to be a channel. We changed it to Night's Watch because we found a content that people were really enjoying, and we were able to produce it, and we became Night's Watch. Thank you everyone for joining us. Been lots of fun. Really enjoy these live streams. Hope to see you on the next one next week on the Weekly Watch. That's the name of this one, the Weekly Watch. So we'll sign off now. Thank you everyone. See you next time, and as always, stay watchful.
Goodbye everyone.
Goodbye.